This is the week 5 of the NFL schedule. The Bills are playing the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. The Chiefs are at home playing at Arrowhead Stadium, and the Bills' record is 3-1. Chiefs are 2-2, and this is a prime matchup for AFC playoff positioning. So after a couple games today, the Broncos lost, so they are currently third in the division, and Chargers are losing. Raiders are also losing. With the win in this game, Chiefs can go tie the records of everyone else in their division, while everyone in the Patriots won today. Dolphins lost and Jets lost, meaning the Bills are still going to be in the lead in the division even if they lose. So in terms of playoff positioning, the Chiefs winning this game means that they have the tiebreak over Buffalo when it comes to the playoff seeding. So this could greatly help the Chiefs get the number 1 or number 2 seed at the end of the year. And the Bills right now have played the Steelers, Dolphins, Texans, and the Washington football team, who they've completely rolled over. Their point differential is probably the biggest in the league. They're number 1 in defense, like top 5 in offense right now, but they've played some of the worst teams in the league in terms of offense. So that ranking is justified. And the Chiefs have played the Browns, Ravens, Chargers, and Eagles. Chiefs are coming off a win over the Eagles last week, with the Chiefs scoring on every drive except one Patrick Mahomes interception. And there wasn't a single punt in that game from both teams. Bills are coming off an absolute demolition of the Texans. It was 40-10 or something like that. So, yeah. And so I have a question. Why would this win be a tiebreaker in the seeding? It's because if the records are tied at the end of the year, let's say both teams are 13-4, whoever has the direct wins are the ones that are going to be the first tiebreaker.
So, without overtime?
No, whoever has, because with how they do playoff seeding is the best record is first in each conference. Best record is first, second, third, fourth, like that. So, if they have the same record, like they almost did last year, both teams almost ended 13-3. In that case, the Chiefs had the tiebreak over the Bills because they beat the Bills last season. So they would have been first in the playoffs. So they would have the bye week, which is very important because the Chiefs last year had 3 people come back from injury over the bye week. And the year they won the Super Bowl, they had Chris Jones come back. So the bye week is very important to have in the playoffs. Okay, so let's start talking about the game now. The Chiefs on defense right now is probably one of the worst in the league, if not the worst. They can't seem to stop the run. Last week, they could barely cover against Devonta Smith and Jalen Reagor. And Jalen Hurts ran all over this team. So who knows what Josh Allen could do? Josh Allen has a bigger arm, better accuracy, and better weapons than Jalen Hurts. And they have a better offensive line than the Eagles. Last week, the Chiefs could barely get any pressure after weeks of not being able to get pressure. But people thought it would happen this game against a depleted Eagles offensive line. And the only pressure that came was from blitzes and L'Jarius Sneed, the team's best cornerback. So this week would be really good if Frank Clark plays, if Chris Jones plays, and if Willie Gay returns, because he provides an extra athleticism in the linebacking core that has been sorely lacked. Linebackers can't seem to cover anybody. Last week, Anthony Hitchens made an insanely dumb call that led to a touchdown, where he covered was absolutely nobody. So the return of Willie Gay from IR could be greatly beneficial to helping this linebacker core cover other people's running backs and tight ends.
Is he injured?
He was injured for the first 4 weeks of the season. He's supposed to come off IR. He started the season on IR, which means injured reserve, and you're out for 3 weeks, like if you go on it. And he was eligible to come back last week, but they decided to rest him, or they decided not to activate him just in case. So he's coming back this week, and he's playing he was activated on Friday, and he's playing tonight. And so he is the team's fastest linebacker. He is probably the team's best linebacker if he can stay healthy. So this would be a great addition to a linebacking core that has really suffered. The rookie linebacker, Nick Bolton, has probably been the best linebacker so far, but he can't seem to move at all in coverage. And he is barely good against the run, getting some good stops on run blitzes that he was in good position for. Anthony Hitchens is supposed to be playing much better this year, but cannot seem to make the correct calls on sometimes the defense, letting up easy touchdowns against the Chargers and the Ravens. And then Ben Neiman has always been bad. Chiefs fans hate him. He cannot cover anybody. He cannot run. He won't tackle. So he's basically a really bad linebacker. And then what's even worse is that the Chiefs' best players on defense, Tyrann Mathieu and Chris Jones, have not been playing up to their potential. Chris Jones, after starting this year with a 2-sack game against the Browns, starting off his Defensive Player of the Year campaign well, has done nothing, has not gotten a sack so far, and has been not even been able to make mediocre offensive linemen pay for and get sacks. And so he's looked like he's largely taken many drives off. He's playing lazy, and he doesn't look like he's giving his full effort. Probably because Frank Clark, he has nobody else to rush alongside him. As Frank Clark, who is the highest cap hit on the Chiefs this year, has not contributed to anything, has not played for 3 games out of the 4 of the season, and hasn't even have a sack in the 1 game he played. And then Tyrann Mathieu, who didn't play first week after getting COVID, but he started the second week, got a pick 6 and another interception. And then after that, hasn't done anything since. He's made some decent plays in coverage, but is still letting up some big plays happen, and is not shutting down offensive teams, tight ends or running backs. And then the corners last week, after playing relatively well for the first 3 weeks, Mike Hughes got picked on by Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith. And Devonta Smith roasted him. Almost should have had a touchdown on him, but that was called back for a penalty. So Mike Hughes needs to play better this week against outside receivers like Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs. Meanwhile, L'Jarius Sneed, after having a fantastic rookie season, has been playing like his rookie season, but hasn't taken that step forward that people wanted to see this year from him. And he'll be matched up mostly against Stephon Diggs this week, one of the NFL's best wide receivers. So he needs to make sure to shut him down, or at least limit his production. And we have another question. Other than the Willie Gay coming back, do you think the defense has a chance for improvement? I mean, most of the mistakes they're making are mental, like not tackling, not lining up properly, not making the correct defensive calls. So yes, there's room for improvement, but he's not like just him coming back won't improve the defense. They need to get pressure, and they need to be able to hold on into coverage and sustain drives. And one good thing the Chiefs defense has done is they've been able to get turnovers. The thing is, if they don't get a turnover, it's mostly going to be a touchdown. On 12 red zone drives this year, the Chiefs have given up a touchdown on 10 of them, which is just unacceptable. Another 2 have been turnovers in that red zone by the Eagles. So in order to win this game, the Chiefs need to be able to play in the red zone, limit the Bills to field goals, or perhaps even get a couple punts. So after talking about the defense for a while, I would like to talk about 3 important players for tonight's game. Juan Thornhill is going to be very important in order to cover Stephon Diggs and the Bills' other wide receivers. His athleticism needs to be in the game today. Another important player is Willie Gay. Like I said, who's coming back this week. He needs to be able to cover the Chiefs, Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, and be able to ID plays quickly and tackle and make the tackle. And then the final, most important player this week is Chris Jones. If he plays, doesn't look like he will, but if he plays, this is probably the most important game of the year for the Chiefs right now. They need to win this game, otherwise they fall to 2-3 and are probably out of getting the top seed in the AFC. And so, with those 3 players on defense, let's move on to the offense. And so, the Chiefs' offense has not struggled this year, other than that game against the Chargers, where the first 3 drives of the game all ended with a turnover in the red zone. Patrick Mahomes has thrown career high 4 picks in the first 3 games, but some of them have been bad decisions, and some have just been he's trying to force the ball because he knows the defense is not going to get a stop. So the offense looks in sync. The running game is working well. It worked well against the Chargers. It worked well against the Eagles. Tyreek Hill has been amazing. He had 3 touchdowns and 190 receiving yards last game. Travis Kelce had a quiet game last week after 3 straight weeks of 100 yards plus and multiple touchdowns. And so this week, last time the Chiefs played the Bills, they were not able to cover Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce, as they both combined for 300 plus yards in that game, in the AFC Championship game, and Tyreek Hill ran all over them with Travis Kelce open on every single 3rd down. And last time the Chiefs played the Bills, Mahomes was injured. He was not able to move out of the pocket, He had to stay in the pocket, deliver strikes, and he was able to do that. And so this week, Mahomes needs to be careful, limit his turnovers to probably, hopefully, 0. And they need to be able to score every drive because the defense will most likely not be able to hang on against the Buffalo Bills offense, which is one of the best in the league. And so, but what we haven't talked about so far is the addition of Josh Gordon. He's a 30-year-old receiver who led the league in receiving yards 5 years ago. He's been suspended for multiple seasons now for marijuana. But the Chiefs took a chance on him after he got reinstated by the league. And so if he could provide another receiving threat for Mahomes, this offense is basically unstoppable. With the Bills' pass rush not doing as good as they hoped, and the Chiefs' offensive line looking really good in run blocking and pretty good in pass blocking too. And so my 3 players to watch on offense are Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's stacked 2 good games on top of each other with 2 touchdowns, over 100 rushing yards in both, and multiple receptions. He needs to continue doing that against the Bills, who are going to be trying their best to cover Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, which will create opportunities for Clyde. Another player to watch on the offensive line is Lucas Niang, the right tackle who had a couple bad penalties last week. He had a couple of false starts, holdings that need to be corrected, but in general he has played well. He has looked good in run blocking, and he's looked adequate in pass blocking. Against AJ Espinosa and Gregory Rousseau, this is going to be an important game for him to keep Mahomes clean. And the most important player for the offense on today's game, other than Patrick Mahomes, is Travis Kelce. Last time, the Bills could not stop him. He was open for every time Mahomes looked at him, he was open. Every third down, every dire situation, Mahomes always passed him. The Bills don't have their best coverage linebacker, Matt Milano, and so Travis Kelce needs to take advantage of this and be open for Mahomes to find him. And so my final thoughts for this game: the defense has not looked good this year for the Chiefs. They are ranked bottom 5 in almost every category, while offense is top 5 at every category. So this needs to be one of those Mahomes games where he makes few mistakes, has like around 5 or 6 touchdown passes, needs to be able to score on almost every drive, and the Chiefs just need like 1 or 2 punts in order to win this game. But I think it will be too much for the Chiefs to overcome. I think the Bills win this game 35-32 with a last-second 2-minute drive by Josh Allen to win the game. The Chiefs' defense could not stop him on that drive. They tried their best, but he was not able to, and he rushes in for the final touchdown. So that's it. Bills 35, Chiefs 32. Chiefs fall to 2-3 after this game.